You're standing in the dim light of your garage, staring down at the cold concrete floor. There's something moving near the edge of the drywall, something reddish-brown and thick, undulating in a slow, rhythmic crawl. Your mind instantly flashes to the warnings you have heard about centipedes. You know they are fast, you know they are aggressive, and you know they can deliver an incredibly painful bite. Your heart rate ticks up a fraction as you track its progress across the dust. Your foot raises instinctively, hovering just above the creature, preparing to crush the threat before it can scurry into a dark corner. Stop. If the creature curled into a tight, flat spiral the moment your shadow fell over it, you're about to make a significant mistake. It is not a centipede. It is a millipede, a harmless detritivore that spends its life eating decomposing plant matter and poses zero threat to you, your children, or your pets. The cost of this error goes far beyond simply killing an innocent creature that wandered into the wrong space. The real danger here is the misidentification itself. When you crush a millipede thinking it is a centipede, you are training yourself to fear the wrong thing. You are reinforcing a false sense of security, while the actual centipede, the one that truly can bite you, goes completely unrecognized in the shadows of your home. You end up wasting your vigilance on a slow-moving recycler, leaving yourself vulnerable to the genuine predators that share your living space. Telling the difference between the two takes only 3 seconds of observation. You simply need to look closely at the body structure and count the leg pairs per segment. A millipede belongs to the class Diplopoda, meaning it has 2 pairs of legs on almost every body segment. This anatomical feature gives them the appearance of a moving fringe, a continuous wave of tiny limbs that propel them forward at a sluggish pace. A centipede, belonging to the class Chilopoda, has only 1 pair of legs per segment, allowing for rapid, darting movements. Millipedes are inherently slow-moving and possess a rounded, almost cylindrical body shape. When threatened, they do not fight or flee. Instead, they curl into a tight coil, protecting their softer underbelly with their armored exoskeleton. If handled roughly, they release a defensive secretion that smells faintly chemical, like iodine or almonds. The Narcissus americanus secretion contains benzoquinones and related compounds. This secretion can stain skin purple for several days and causes a burning sensation if it reaches the eyes. Wash hands immediately after any contact and do not touch the face. The American giant millipede, Narcissus americanus, is a common visitor, growing up to 4 inches long with a striking black body and orange-red legs. Despite its imposing size, it is never fast, and it is never, ever aggressive. The reason you must never kill this creature lies in its role as one of the planet's most ancient and essential decomposers. The mechanism runs through lateral pores called ozophores, 1 pair per segment, positioned along the lower sides of the body. When the millipede is pressed or rolled between fingers, fluid seeps passively from these pores. It is not sprayed or ejected. The benzoquinone compounds in this fluid are the same class of chemical that some beetles use defensively, and they are effective. Birds that pick up a millipede and mouth it typically drop it within seconds. The millipede has been performing this same chemical defense for roughly 420 million years. It was among the first animals to colonize dry land, arriving before the first amphibians, before the first insects with wings, before almost everything else that walks on a solid surface today. The millipede is a relentless engine of nutrient recycling. It spends its existence breaking down leaf litter, dead wood, and decaying organic matter at the soil surface. This creature consumes the refuse of the natural world and processes it, returning vital nutrients back into the ground in a highly bioavailable form. It performs a function that commercial fertilizers can never replicate with the same efficiency or ecological balance. They have been performing this exact, unglamorous job for roughly 420 million years. They were among the very first animals to ever colonize dry land, stepping out of the primordial waters to shape the earth, and their biological function has not changed a fraction since that ancient era. When you find one in your garage or your garden beds, it is not there to invade your space. It is there to eat the dead plant matter and microscopic debris accumulating on your floors and in your soil. By consuming this decaying material, the millipede actively reduces the organic buildup that would otherwise attract far more problematic pests, such as fungus gnats and springtails. They are the quiet janitors of the micro-ecosystem, breaking down the rot before it can foster mold and attract swarms of nuisance insects. Erasing them from your property simply invites the rot to take over. The presence of a millipede inside your garage is actually a highly specific diagnostic tool. It indicates a localized problem with moisture and decaying organic material at or very near the entry point of your home. Millipedes do not come inside by choice. They have no interest in human dwellings, which are typically far too dry for them to survive for long. Instead, they follow a humidity gradient when outdoor conditions become utterly intolerable. If the weather has been exceptionally dry, they move inward, seeking any available dampness. More commonly, if there has been heavy, saturating rain, they flee the drowning soil and seek higher, drier ground. A sudden influx of millipedes appearing on your garage floor immediately after a storm tells you two very specific things about your property. First, it means your garage floor has substantial gaps at the foundation seal, allowing a clear path from the outside dirt to the inside concrete. Second, it means the exterior perimeter of your home has a sufficient accumulation of organic debris to sustain a breeding population right against your walls. Addressing this issue requires structural adjustments rather than chemical warfare. First, identify exactly where they are entering. The most common infiltration points are the degraded rubber gap at the very base of the garage door or microscopic cracks where the foundation meets the framing. Replacing a worn garage door weather strip is a simple task that costs under $30 and permanently eliminates the primary entry route. Next, look at the exterior of your home. You must rake all wet leaf litter, wood mulch, and decaying vegetation away from the foundation perimeter. Create and maintain a clear 6-inch band of dry gravel or bare soil between your siding and any organic landscaping material. This dry zone acts as a physical barrier that moisture-dependent creatures cannot cross. If you already have millipedes inside, simply use a broom and sweep them back out into the yard. Do not reach for a can of bug spray. Applying broad-spectrum pesticides inside a garage creates a toxic chemical residue that is exponentially more hazardous to your respiratory system than the millipede could ever be. If you must use a deterrent at the threshold, apply a desiccant product like diatomaceous earth. It is highly effective against crawling insects and completely non-toxic to mammals. When you see something coil up on your garage floor, tell me in the comments. Did you count the leg pairs per segment? And what did you find?